Hi guys, and welcome to FlowHunt and easy-to-use AI workflows. My name is Chris, and today I'm going to show you how to create unique content from your podcast with some simple AI workflows. Here's a company called My First Million. So this is a podcast. It's a really interesting podcast example, a popular news show focused on big business, company growth. I'm going to use this podcast to demonstrate to you how you can repurpose your content creatively. So really, how do you use podcasts for interactive content? So let's come in here and we'll go to their YouTube channel. So here you go. You can see the YouTube channel. They've got loads of videos, loads of great content here. Really excellent. So basically, by using any MP3 or MP4 video, something like this here, you can see that this is the start of this particular video. I lost everything twice, then made 26 million in 18 months. So crazy stuff, really cool. So anyway, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to look step by step of how to do this. So we're going to select the content. We're going to choose the podcast. So this is a particular podcast that I want to do. So for instance, if I've got the original document, or if I download the video, I can use that. Or I can simply just copy and paste maybe in something like this and just convert that to MP3 and download that too. So that's something I can quickly do. But for instance, what I want to do now is I'm going to go back to my flows, okay? So let's go into FlowHunt here, and you can see my flow library and my flows that I've created here for this particular one. So I've got an article from podcasts, I've got a podcast chatbot, and I've got YouTube description. Now, the podcast chatbot is the interesting one. So I'm going to come in here, and that's the first one, because this is just a simple, regular chatbot that I've made here. And in my document retriever here, what I've done is I've put down podcasts. So for instance, if I go back here now, and I go to my documents, I can click in documents, and you'll see that this is the podcast that I've uploaded. I lost everything twice and made 26 million in 18 months. Here it is again. And what I've got here is I've just entitled it as a category of podcasts. So for instance, I've got a couple of podcasts in here, and let's say I could download all of the series of podcasts, and I could make some chatbots or some linear chatbots for these kind of documentations. Okay, so let's go into this, back to our chatbot, into my flows, and here it is. Let's go to the chatbot again, and then we'll come straight in here, and you can see that by opening the chatbot here, I can test it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to simply ask to give me a blog post based on that podcast. Here it is. Give me a blog post from the podcast. I lost everything twice, then made 26 million in 18 months. So what I'm doing now is I'm interacting now with that actual podcast. So I can ask questions, I can make content, I can do anything I want from there. And I can do that quite quickly as well. So what I'm going to do now is let's just get the results. You can see them in here. So look, I lost everything twice, then made 26 mil, and then the highs and the lows. It's given me some summaries, the first taste of success, partnership that went wrong, and then starting over again on Christmas Eve, the desperation, and then the gamble that paid off. So this is really, really cool. And I can ask other questions in here too. So for instance, let's create a YouTube description for the podcast. I can say, I lost everything twice. Let's put it in there. And the reason I'm putting the title in is because I might have a series of 25 videos that I've stored in my documents. So I just want to be specific with this particular video as well, okay? So after converting the file and uploading it to FlowHunt, I'm using this now as a reference file here. So you can see straight away, look, let's have a YouTube description. You can see if you read down the YouTube description as well, you can see highlights, key takeaways, don't forget to subscribe, and then turn on notifications, listen, etc., etc. And here's, if you visit our website for more content, you just slip in your URL. I could, for instance, also say, let's create a set of marketing socials for LinkedIn, Instagram, X, Facebook. And again, I put the title in here. So let's pop that in there as well. And what I do is I send that off now, and my chatbot will now create all of that information based on exactly the parameters that I've given it. Okay. Now, this is really, really cool. But if we go on a little bit further, let's have a look firstly at these results. You can see here again, I've got them very quickly as well. This is all real time. So here's a set of marketing posts for LinkedIn, Insta, X, and Facebook. So here we go, LinkedIn, and then it tells you the LinkedIn. It gives you an idea of what you can propose all there, some highlights, some key takeaways. Also gives you the emojis on there. You can see podcast link. And then we've got episodes in Instagram, episodes, key takeaways. And then, of course, X, you've got a smaller little tweet to put in there, and then we can go into Facebook as well. So you can really do everything you can in a normal chatbot, but obviously it's based on one particular document because I've put the title in and I've saved it also already. And if I go back to flows again, now these ones here, for instance, the article from podcast and the YouTube description. Now, when you want to do massive scale and massive automation, and you can see that the guys here have got really loads and loads of videos. So if I wanted to automate all of these videos and have them scheduled and making sure that I get the right content each time and consistent and quality wise, I can actually create these linear flows, which will actually make that very, very accurate indeed. So I've done the same thing with my document retriever. I've got my chat input and I've got my chat output, and I can then come into here and I can simply just put in the name of the actual podcast this time. I don't need to give it a command because actually in my prompt here, you can see that I've already given it an exact prompt and it will do the same thing every time. So that's actually in my flow. So here we go. So let's just shut that down. And here we go. I've lost everything twice. I can click on that. And what I'll get now is I'll actually get the blog post, which will be the same type of blog post each time. We'll section it in the certain ways that I've already given it to and bring it out in the right way. And this is a great example to use this as a linear output. And it's got that predefined prompt that I showed you. And you can call this many hundreds and thousands of times by calling APIs, and you can create a consonance. You can make a chatbot will create different things in linear flows, and you'll get much better results. And by using this linear API, it will be much better quality, and it will give you very stable environment indeed. So if I go back to the flows again, I can also go to the YouTube description, and all I need to do is put in the YouTube description. Now, I'm doing this manually now, but obviously if you set up an API to do this, then it will just do it automatically and do everything for you. So straight away, you can see, here we go, here's our description, and it's set up in such a way that's been put properly together. And you can see again in the prompt here, you've got professional copywriter that's been put in here for setting up a description, and you can test that and use that each time. Now, one of the excellent things about it is if you check out, for instance, let's say the web page here. So we're looking at the My First Million web pages, and you can see that they've got a bunch of episodes here, and they've extracted it. They've got some information in here. And then when you click on the episode, you go to an actual page that shows you about this content. Now, this is okay. It's not bad, but it's all a bit sort of not really the best way of looking at it. So if we go back to our flows now, and we go to, for instance, one of our blog posts, you can see here that what we've done is we've extracted not only the video is in there, but we've also got, for instance, let's have a look at a different blog. We can come into one here. We can go down here. We see the video, we see the description, and all of this information is pulled out directly in one of our flows to show exactly it. And look how excellent the presentation is and how great it looks. So this is hooked up exactly to our website with images, and you can see that this looks way better than something like this, which is sort of a bit messy. These guys are doing a great job, but obviously they'll need to up their game a little bit on their website there. But you can see here it's working really well. And also what you can actually do is you can, for instance, in this case, we've put a FlowHunt chatbot in there as well. So we've got a little chatbot that we've popped in there. So we can actually take any YouTube video or podcast and we can pop it into the query here and just send that off. And what we'll get straight away is an output. So you can see here, this is all in real time again. You've got, I lost everything twice. So it's given us the source of where it's getting to. And you can see just at the bottom there, it says the source exactly. And then what we'll get as well is we'll get now a summary of the content. So straight away, we've got this. So you can set this up on your website as well. So you can have an interacting area. You can have a chatbot on the right-hand side here, which will help you too. So this chatbot is really cool. So I can ask questions about the FlowHunt, for instance, our FlowHunt features, templates, anything. I can ask any questions in here. And by using a chatbot within the website itself, I can ask questions about the actual podcast that's going on. So these are really, really great and cool options. Thanks for watching this FlowHunt video, and please like and subscribe and join me next time for FlowHunt tips on AI workflows.